All right, hello everybody out there. Today I'm honored to have my friend here, GM Frank Rillamas, for a conversation for the VA Martial Arts Collaborative, and we're just going to talk story here, and so do a quick introduction. GM Frank Rillamas, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Sure. So first of all, I want to know a little bit about your background and history, and when did you get into martial arts?
Well, I started in the Philippines. My grandfather, he was a Grandmaster in Cabar. So as a kid, as a 13-year-old, me and my cousin, because everybody talked about Grandpa, right? He was a badass or something, So we go, hey Grandpa, can you teach us some of that Cabar stuff? And he goes, sure, So he chopped one of them branches and he just whipped us, on the leg, on the back, on the arms, And so we were kind of like, ooh, we don't want to learn that, And I don't know if he was just testing us, because that's the Filipino way, you see if you really want to learn, But after that, we were 13 years old, me and my cousin. So after that, we go, no, we don't want to learn. Grandpa is mean, So that's how it started. And then as I grew older, about 16 maybe, I was a hothead, so I needed something to back me up a little bit. So when I went to college, university in Baguio City, I started learning Shodon Karate. So the training over there is totally different from here. They only have 4 belts: white, green, brown, black. And so the training is horrendous, just like military type. So if you don't make it, then you don't belong, kind of thing, So it was a nice training, and I became a black belt. I mean, a black belt, no, green belt, So I thought I was the baddest man on the planet. But then it was shortened because my dad, who was here in the U.S., petitioned me and my sister to come over to California, and I go, California, here I come.
Yeah.
So I stopped all of that and migrated here. And
how old were you, say, when you migrated here?
19.
19, okay.
19 years old. And so we settled in Friends Camp. And my friends, my childhood friends, they all live in Southside Stockton. So they always come in and pick me up, and we go run around downtown Stockton,
Yeah.
So we hang out at the Filipino Center on Market and Center Streets. And Angel had a school there. And I used to peek at the window like this, and I go, someday I'm gonna go learn that,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so
Did you know what it was too? Have you heard of him, or you just kind of just?
Well, I know it's Crema because everybody
Yeah.
talks about it, and my grandpa knows the sticks.
Okay.
So it's a different style, but I had an idea.
Okay.
So after that, I got married. I joined the U.S. Navy, and before I joined the U.S. Navy, I met my cousin Cesario Roqueta, and he lived in Latro. So he wanted to build a school in Latro. So he wanted to teach some guys become black belts to help them out, right? So we trained at this garage, one of my friend's garage. So there was quite a few of us. Me, my brother-in-law, Tony Teixeira, Gabe Assumption, David Asuncion, my brother-in-law, and my two brothers, David and William. You know, so we became black belts in 1975, and
what particular style was that?
Chinese Filipino Kenpo.
Really? Okay. Wow. Okay.
That insignia, that's his.
Okay.
Okay, and it was designed by Glenn Abrisi.
Oh wow. Yeah.
That was he designed that, and because Glenn and my teacher, who's my cousin too, right? They were brother-in-laws.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they married into the family, you know. And there was third guy whose name is John Valdez. He's also Filipino, right? So they all learned Kenpo, right? So they had their first. Glenn had his first school in that little town by Rio Vista, when they sort of crawdads and stuff. That's where.
Alton? Is it Alton?
Is it Alton? Yeah, maybe it's
Maybe
Alton.
it's Alton. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that he had his first school there, and he had that logo. So then Cesario, in the meantime, was teaching in Lathrop, and so we became black belts. And at this point in time, he got divorced, so he moved to Fresno. You know, so we were all like, what are we gonna do now? You know, so when he went to Fresno, I got married and I joined the U.S. Navy. So when I came back, I wanted to pursue it again, right? So I went to Fresno after my discharge. I went to Fresno and Zeke came out, and at this time he changed everything. He incorporated the soft style instead of the hard style that he taught us first. So I had to relearn all this in Fresno, you know.
Yeah.
So after that, he got remarried over there in Fresno, and after that he divorced again.
Okay.
So he moved to Washington, and I go, man, you know, it's what are we gonna do now? You know, he's gone again. You know, so it's like we needed watering. You know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
A plant needs watering to grow, right? So then in 1979, I decided to go train with Angel. I started my training and studies under Grandmaster Angel Caballos in the Filipino Community Center on Sonora Street in Stockton.
Okay.
Yeah. And then a year later, he moved the school to Gong Lee's Banquet Hall,
Yeah.
which is on Harding Way, Stockton. And there, Grandmaster Gilbert Pino and Grandmaster Art Gonzalez frequently visited him, and that's my first encounter with Grandmaster Art. So as we progressed with our own respective styles, Grandmaster Angel used to let us demonstrate in all the Filipino events, Asian events in the Valley, San Francisco, San Jose, stuff like that. So he had a lot of exposure at that time. So in the late 80s, I would say, I saw Grandmaster Art doing a demonstration of the Cordus right there at the Civic Auditorium parking lot with his own group, and he was in charge. I don't know if you were there, but
At the waterfront? Is that
Yeah.
the waterfront? Yeah, I was at that one.
So anyway, I was so fascinated with the knife technique. So in class, I asked Grandmaster Angel. I said, "Hey, Grandmaster, what is the Cordus?" And he goes, "Oh, that's the brother to the Serrada. As a matter of fact, I used to call my Serrada the Cordus in the beginning." Like, oh, that's fascinating, you know. And so he added to say, when you finish your training, go seek out and learn the Cordus to make your Serrada complete. well, I didn't say much about it, but I kept it inside. So I never deviated from my studies and training under Grandmaster Gonzalez. To me, Serrada was the ultimate art, which I still think that way today. I was always supportive and very, very loyal to him. And I know he appreciated that. So anyway, I always admired all the masters that came before me. So I decided that's the path I'm going to go. So I took private lessons with Grandmaster Gonzalez, and he showed me techniques and taught me techniques that defines me today. So after his passing in '91, I seek out Grandmaster Art Gonzalez. He had a school on Fremont Street, and I used to go over there and watch him and Master George demonstrate the Cordus. And at this point in time, I was hooked, So first he introduced me to Professor Muro.
Okay.
And we went to learn the Kilohana massage in Salinas.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Me, Grandmaster Art, Master George, and Joe used to commute together for these classes until we got certified. So
okay, the Sipa Jiu-Jitsu?
yeah,
yeah.
that's it. So we got really close and we kind of bonded together because we were in the same car every, I don't know, So that
was a few stops to Denny's, I bet. J. Mart's favorite breakfast place.
Yeah, there was a place right there on Gilroy, I think it was, where we used to stop. But anyway, we all four of us we bonded. So in July of 2014, I made a decision to seek him out, go learn the Cordus. Because in the back of my mind, Grandmaster Angel told me. So then I asked him, "Hey, Grandmaster, can you take me on as your student?" And he goes, "I'll be honored to share my knowledge." So okay, thank you. So every Saturday I commuted to the ranch in a Kenpo, and he paired me up with Craig Coutil until his passing. We got really even closer at this point in time because whenever he had issues and problems, he would call me up. "Hey, you want to go get some coffee?" And we talk about, he wanted my advice and opinion about things, and I go, "Hey, I'm really touched, I'm really honored for you to say that, So that's how we met. We became really close.
Wow.
Yeah.
Going back to your when you said you started out, you took Shodan. Was he? I'm curious. Was the instructor there Filipino who had learned Shodan Karate and then brought it back to the Philippines and opened up a school? Or
yeah, he's all Filipino.
Really?
The Filipino teachers, they go to Japan and learn it there and then bring it back home. Yeah, he was affiliated with the Shodan in Okinawa or something like that. So the training over there is totally different.
Yeah.
We used to go to tournaments, the training is different. We used to go in the ocean, the beach, you go in the water about waist high and you kick your feet out of the water, and then he would make us do a horse stance and in a circle, right? And he would give us a piece of paper in his hand, and you go like this, and you powder that paper, and then he would stand on your legs where you're in a horse stance. Goes around. If somebody falters, he would say, "Start over," And we used to do training barefooted in the mountains, So we did different kind of trainings. He put us in this cold stream, about chest high maybe, and and it's like a ditch, a canal,
Yeah.
you know. And he would tie the belts on our waist so that we won't get in the current is really fast. So we would do horse stances like that, and it's different training, you know. It's
Yeah.
like military.
Well, with all these different instructors that you had, does that influence the way you teach, or you know, do you kind of take what was good and bad from all the different instructors, and that's kind of how you? Because I know you still actively teach, correct?
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And I'm open to anything, you know. I don't know everything, so if you stop learning, then that's it. You know,
Right.
you never stop learning. You know, I'm open to suggestions, and because I don't know everything,
Mm.
right? My students like Master Brick, Master Rick, they all have their individual techniques and stuff. So if they show me something, I welcome it, you know, and that's the way it should be,
Right.
because you don't know it all, you know, and then incorporate it to what you already have. There's a good quote from Master, I don't know what you called him. You called him Grandmaster Marqueta.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's very, very proficient with his karambit, right? And he said, this is the quote that I learned from him. He says, if you are good with your hands, it doesn't have to be Kali. If you're good with your hands, then use it. What's the use if you're gonna go and learn Kali to become this good?
Mhm.
Use what you have. And that's what I picked up on him. And so I'm using my Serrada to influence what I do. You know, so yeah.
Wow, that's. And so when you teach, how do people get in contact with you? I mean, is it through Facebook, or how do people find you?
I have a website
Okay.
in the internet, and I think that's how people find me. You know.
Okay.
So I don't have my dojo anymore.
Yeah.
I lost it during that crash. So I sold everything.
Yeah. I know
Mats.
some stuff ended up here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mats, bags.
Yeah.
I even had that little
Yeah.
metal, or it was like a bob, but it's
Okay.
solid. So if you hit certain spots, it lights up.
Oh, wow.
I sold everything. The only thing that I saved was my mirror, because I never thought I teach again.
Yeah.
You know, but all these guys, they say, hey, we don't mind the garage, let's do it in the garage.
Yeah.
So here I am, garage instructor.
Wow.
So
So you consider yourself a lifelong student, and you're still teaching. What keeps you in it?
health.
Yeah.
Keeps me active,
Okay.
and I never stop learning. I have this mentality that goes, somebody might test you,
Mm,
so you gotta be ready. You
right.
know, that's a Filipino mentality right there. And you gotta have eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it was where I grew up, you know. So, and at the same time, when you work out, you feel good, you know. And if you learn new stuff, you feel good about yourself, you know, and,
Yeah.
and you stay healthy. That's why I still do it, you know.
Yeah.
Some student asked me, you're 71, Grandmaster, you still work out as hard? And I go, yeah, of course, because you have to uphold that title,
Yeah.
you know. And he goes, oh, I thought if you go up to that level, then you stop. And I said, no, you know, you have to be ready all the time.
A lot of people too, I think we're a strange animal, people who are really into martial arts, you know. But I think when you do it long enough, it becomes part of your DNA, and you see the benefits flow into other aspects of your life.
Yes.
You know, from stress relief to
Yes.
staying healthy.
Yes.
And I guess there is that, to me, there's that special bond when you're training in the combative arts and you're sharing that in a small group, either in your home or somewhere, where people come together, they're like-minded. You know, I think there's some beauty in that. And I don't know what it is, if it goes back to tribal, you know, days of when hunter-gathering days. Well, I think sometimes as you know, both women and men need to train in something that really pushes them to be something better than themselves. And I think combative arts does that. Would you kind of agree with that?
Oh, I agree 100%. Yeah. When I used to work, when I was working, I had a lot of stress. So whenever I get off work, I go work out and I forget everything. So that's a stress relief right there. And you know, being in shape is a good thing. You know, the Lord is really good to me. You know, I never have any issues. Nothing.
Well, I had no idea you were in your 70s.
I'm going to be 71 in 10 days.
Well, you look fantastic, and you move incredible. So
thank you.
We're lucky to have GM Frank come in and teach us some Serrada earlier today. My class was here, and yeah, I mean, he's one you don't want to mess with. He's still incredibly fast and has power behind all his movements. And so I think, I mean, you're an inspiration to a lot of people to know that, you know, it's a journey, it's a process, and you keep learning and you keep practicing.
Yes.
And hopefully for a fight that'll never come, but I'd rather be prepared than not train.
That's correct.
You know, and so that's always been my mentality. I consider martial arts training my insurance that I pay into through my discipline and my study. It's personal insurance, because at the end of the day, I don't feel like a lot of times, especially with the world is heading.
Yes.
You know, you can't rely on the phone call to pick up the phone, call 911, and hope someone will be there to protect you. A lot of times, it's going to be left up to you to protect yourself and your loved ones.
That's correct.
And you know, I think a lot of folks don't understand that. You know, they rely too heavily on others for their self-protection.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, and the same token, you know, if I can help somebody to become a good citizen, it feels good here.
Yeah.
You know, if a person, you know, makes him go straight or do good things, and you did your job. You know, and that's I always teach that when I teach respect, loyalty, integrity. Those are very important in life. You know, so if I can impart those things to kids and I make them a good citizen, then I did my job. You know.
I'm curious, what do you think? I notice a lot of times you see folks who have either done karate, done taekwondo, done kaju kenpo. What do you think I guess a lot of times you see them as they advance through their studies in more traditional arts, then they get into the Filipino martial arts. There's something there that I don't put my finger on, but what do you think? Do you think they're seeking out the value of Filipino martial arts, or?
Yes, the value of the Filipino martial arts, and it's the Filipino martial arts is weapon-based and combat. It's not meant to be in a tournament. Okay, the fight ends in a split second. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think they're fascinated with the weapons, and then it trickles down to your empty hand. You know, it's the same process. You know. And I think that's what they see, because in Taekwondo, they also have weapons, but Filipino martial arts is a little different, you know. Chinese style, they also have weapons, but it's different, you know. In the beginning, it wasn't meant to be stick, it's all swords, you know, and when they say, can I practice with you, that's a challenge, you know. So it's all combat, you know, oriented. So.
Well, yeah, for me, I noticed the biggest value. So having studied, you know, Koshiru Kenpo and gone through some training in Koshiru Kenpo and Kaju Kenpo, for me, it's understanding the kind of the principles and concepts that GM Art instilled in me. So like the movements and knowing shortcuts. you know, in body position, knowing where to be in order to counter.
Yes.
You know, whereas it's okay, you know, you attack me, and you're applying a solution to one variation of an attack. But in the Filipino martial arts, when you understand, at least in my opinion, when you understand the concepts and principles, you're not only preparing for that initial attack, but you're already 2 or 3 steps in preparation for them to come back at you. And to me, I've seen that as the biggest value of the Filipino martial arts, is that once you understand the concepts and principles, you can take one technique and it becomes hundreds, if not thousands.
That's correct. The essence of the art is what you're looking for. Why does he do that? You gotta question it. You gotta analyze it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta study it. You know. So, like I was telling you earlier, the circle is big. So if you make it smaller, now you're trying to learn the essence of it.
Sure.
So that's the way I see it. The
Wow.
essence of the art. Remember that.
Now, do you see the Filipino martial arts either growing or you see it dwindling? And when I ask that, do you think, say, from your practice from all the way from the 60s to now, has the mindset of the public changed to where maybe folks are looking for a shortcut, and so therefore it's dwindling because it's hard work to dedicate yourself to the study.
Yeah.
You know, and some people, they want to come and they might do a training, but then they don't progress because they're not doing enough training or dedication to the art, and therefore they fall away. Do you see kind of this strange culture shift where people aren't seeking out martial arts as much as they used to? At least the Filipino martial arts?
Well, there's students where they seek the shortcut.
Yeah.
And if you want to be good, you gotta go the hard way, you know. Because if you don't do it the hard way, then you'll never get the essence of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the shortcut, why? You know, you don't have the foundation, you don't have the footwork. Footwork is everything, you know. So you said it's dwindling down? No, I don't think so. Every art has its own advantage and disadvantages, you know. So everybody has a contribution to the art, you know. Everybody's good, in my opinion, you know. It's the practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
It's the hand that wield that weapon, and the footwork that supports it.
Yeah. I guess my question is, do you think there's a lot more people who are not willing to train? Like, I know it seems to me like back when I started with GM Art, we had a lot more students, a lot more people coming out and training and seeking things out. And now it's kind of just word of mouth. You know, I teach here, and some people will come and they'll train a little bit, but then they kind of fall off. And then just because they're like, oh, you know, they want to get, some questions like, how long does it take me to get a black belt?
See, it's all about the belt.
Yeah.
I can give you a black belt right now, but it won't do you any good.
Yeah.
You know, it's the knowledge that you seek. You know, those kind of students, you filter them out. You know, because they don't really want to learn.
Right.
You know, so don't waste your time on it. You know.
Yeah.
And 1 out of 100, you'll get a good student that really want to learn, and you have to be able to recognize that. And if you do, then stick to that guy.
Mm.
You know, I don't like right now. All I do is private lessons, but sometimes students take that for granted.
Yeah.
You know, he always gonna be there. No, who knows? Nobody knows how long
Right.
you're gonna be here. You know. So if you really want to be good and you see a good teacher, you stick to that teacher and finish it. Because if you put too much food in your plate, then it's hard to eat it all, you know. Concentrate on one, and then after that you go to the next entree. Yeah, because then you get confused or mixed up. So you might think that, oh, he's good because he does that. No, not really. What you're learning now is good too.
Yeah.
You just don't know it.
Right.
Yeah. So every art is good in my book. So it's just a matter of absorbing it and getting the essentials.
Yeah, no, you know
The
what?
essence.
Yeah, that brings back to Bruce Lee's quote. What do you say that I'm not afraid of the man who's practiced 10,000 techniques, but rather than I'm afraid of the man who's practiced one technique 10,000 times.
That's correct.
You
That's
know.
correct. Because he doesn't make you not any better, but if you have too many without mastering the first or the second or the third, then it's too much.
Right.
You know. So concentrate on one aspect, and then if you feel like you mastered that, then you go on to the next, but
Right.
not until then.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because like I said, it would be too much in your plate. It would be hard to eat it all.
Wow. Yeah, well, that's good. I never thought about the entree thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. If you got steak and shrimp and lobster, and,
Yeah.
you know, and oh, I think I like this one. That looks really good.
Yeah.
Oh, but I like that lobster, you know, and that's how it is. Students just kind of pick and choose. When do I get my black belt? How long will I take?
Yeah.
It depends on you.
Yeah.
You know, as a teacher, I can see your progress.
Yeah.
Because I see you every day. I test you every day.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm very nitpicky.
Yeah.
You know, I check everything.
Yeah. Well, I think it matters. I don't think it's nitpicky. Is I think if you, what was it? Senior Master George says, you know, you want to practice perfect rather than just practice.
Yeah.
Meaning it might be a slower progression, but all those little steps add up over time. Like even today, when we're coming in for that number one,
Yes.
you know, how we pivot, how we turn,
Yes.
you know, and all those things matter, because if you skip any part of the step, you've already ruined the foundation on which you're trying to build this house on.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I lost my thought.
Well, that's okay. I mean, was there anything else you want people to know about you, or you know? I really wanted to just bring you in here because you're one of those anomalies, I think, that's been around so long, but I don't think a lot of people know a lot about you. I mean,
No, not too many.
we've seen you in the books. I mean, I have an Angel Kabbalah's book, and I think you're in there. You know, there's a couple pictures of you in there, but
It's funny how you said that. You know, when Mark Wiley, when he was writing his first book, he came to me. I gave him all these materials that he's gonna need, who's who and whatnot.
Mhm.
But he never mentioned my name. You know, it's not that I was seeking for recognition. At least you give respect to where it's due. You know, I got this information from Grandmaster Frank. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's the truth. That's the truth. Okay, so those kind of people, you know, I stayed low key for the longest time because of all this politics. Okay, so I hate politics.
yeah,
You know, and then guys kind of put me in the middle, and I don't like that. You know, that's why I stayed low key. And then as I get older, hey, I'm getting up there in age. I better come out.
yeah,
And that's when
yeah.
I came out. You know,
Well,
the hell with it. You know, so I just filtered those guys that really not look down on me, but they don't value the friendship, the loyalty, you know, and integrity. Some people don't value that, you know.
Sure.
I value friendship. If you are my friend,
Sure.
we're gonna be friends forever, you know. But don't get me wrong, you know. You do me wrong, and we're done, you know.
Right.
So some people are like that.
Yeah, it's interesting how sometimes the martial arts world, it brings out the best in people, but it also brings out the worst.
Yeah.
You know, it's a strange dichotomy. You know,
Yeah.
fortunately, you know, I run these seminars here that GM Art used to start, you know, since
Yeah.
2011, the MACE, and now the collaborative,
Yeah.
to bring people together.
Yeah.
You know, and there's been times where people haven't been invited back because they don't have the right spirit. You know, and I feel like, to me, I feel like, as I'm getting up there in age, you know, what are we going to leave upon the next generation? I look at these teenagers who are going to have to carry the mantle when we're all dead and gone, and I almost feel a disservice if we get into that negativity, you know, and start having these traits that some of these people that, you know, I mean, we know who they are. There's a lot of people out there that are just attention seekers, and you know.
Well, that's human nature.
Sure.
Okay, that's human nature, and politics will always be there.
Sure.
So you just have to be true to yourself. You know, what's the value of? You want to be the best. More power to you. You know, but do you have the right personality? You know, it's not all about. You know, you're not gonna stay on top forever. You know, it's always gonna be somebody better and younger. You know, and we tend to get old. You know, and that's how you're gonna look at. You know, you don't be too arrogant, and you know, you gotta humble yourself sometimes.
Well, I've always been a fan of your humility. I mean, ever since you would come in and teach us off of Fremont Street, or even you'd come and visit when we were training out of Terry Jobin's school there in Stockton, and you know, for the longest time I was like, man, this guy's, I want to be like him. You know, because not only you're skilled, but you're very humble and very sharing. You share a lot. You're not secretive. It's like, this is what I know, and you pass on the art. And to me, those are really important qualities as a human. So I appreciate that. And like I said, you always have a home here at the school. You have a home in my house. You know, I'll always have a glass of wine ready for you and some good barbecue. But you know, thank you very much for this time and conversation, and I'm looking forward to our continued friendship.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right,
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. So that was it. That was a conversation with GM Frank Rillamas. Look him up. He's still actively teaching privately. And where do you teach out of? Are you in Lathrop? Is that Lathrop, or is that
Manteca?
Manteca, right here in Manteca. So reach out to him, and he's also on Facebook. And so until next time, keep training and keep studying and keep sharing the art.
Peace.
Peace out.